This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you might have missed this morning. But we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 28th of May 2019, and I am 2J.
I am 2M.
And I am Miss K, your host. Again, in case you missed it, this is Winning Headlines. Let's take a look at today's headlines. Daily Nation, broke Kenya applies for World Bank loan. Feels like me and M-Pesa. I'm sure. The Star, wife of ex-top cop linked to fake gold scam. And The Standard revealed talks that forced Uhuru to act.
The only headline that's missing today is an education scandal.
Oh, yeah.
We have gold, we have loans, we have Uhuru. Where's education?
I think Magoha is on holiday.
Well deserved. Let him take a break from CBC versus
the bull has gone to
OBC.
He's gone to a spa.
All right.
Wife of ex-top cop linked to fake gold scam.
So, are we really pulling and stretching this gold scam, or is there some merit to it?
I don't know. I find it very... What is curious and what is very hard to determine what is speculation from what is real is when every time you discover something, you come and tell us in the papers. I think it's easier if you just go, do your research, consolidate the evidence, figure out who is actually a suspect, then now splash the news with it.
You know, I was reading this, I saw the headline, I opened the page. Then I saw a picture. Jared Otieno. And every time they're doing this headline of the Dubai gold scam, they put this Jared Otieno guy. But from what I have read, Jared Otieno is not linked to the Dubai gold scam. In fact,
it's not with the sheikh.
Yes, and according to the charge sheet, because the charge sheet is him swindling a man called Southhorn Chantavong, director of Simwong Group Company. Southhorn. I don't know whether the Sheikh of Dubai is called Southhorn Al Maktoum.
And in fact, you were saying, they mentioned in the article, that this case is from last year, November?
So there's one from last year, October 2018, all right? But I think there is a scheme by someone. It's very clever, all right? You put in people in court, and yet the people who've been mentioned adversely are still walking free. And I told you that yesterday. Wetangula is still walking free. This other guy is still walking free, right? Because there's no complainant.
So what do we say about this story? Let's use our three-part criteria, and we have a three-part criteria that we use to break down the headlines for you. We ask ourselves three questions. Is this headline topical, or is it speculative? Because the picture is Jared Otieno, yet we are discussing the wife of an ex-top cop. We still don't know which top cop. In fact, we don't even know which wife. I could have more than one wife. Is this... I'm serious. You're good. This is Africa. And is this headline repetitive, or is it groundbreaking? And finally, is it thoughtful or just plain lazy? I say it's lazy.
Lazy.
I say...
Yeah, I think there's some sort of manufacturing of... I wouldn't even call it consent. It's a manufacturing of confusion. Because as you said, these are two clearly separated stories.
They're separate.
Yet
so Jared Otieno was in court for a different matter.
Yes.
He has a different complainant. His case is going on.
Yes.
Sheikh Al Maktoum has his own gold scam.
Yes.
We're still waiting for an actual person to be charged.
Yes.
All of this is speculative investigation.
And on the basis of that, I think we just toss...
Absolutely. What the media is doing is putting Jared Otieno as a poster child for the gold sheikh.
All right, we toss. This is pure confusion. All right, next.
I say we do...
Sheikh's gold.
The Standard?
Yes.
Right. Revealed. Talks that forced Uhuru to act.
I have something to say about this.
Preach.
If you see the president going himself, unlocking containers, right? And prior to that, he had meeting with these traders, just him and them alone. It simply means this, that the president has low trust in his cabinet officials.
He has low trust in his cabinet officials. I thought I was going with the president, has his ear on the ground, he's listening to the people, he's responding to their cry, their need, their troubles and their sorrows.
But when you're president, you put your ear to the ground, then you direct someone to go and physically open those containers. The fact that the president had to do it himself shows that he doesn't trust those people who he has entrusted to do those jobs.
Yes, there are people who are entrusted to do those jobs, but sometimes the symbolism of him going himself physically to the ground, speaking to the traders, listening to their problems. It's very reminiscent of being accepted into the king's court and being able, as a small farmer, to present your woes.
And you know what? That's really beautiful imagery, and it shows the kind of person the president is.
Yes.
But then you contrast that with the statement that PSU made saying that the president was giving them a tongue lashing.
Yes.
Who, the traders or his team?
The president was giving the traders a tongue lashing.
I mean, I saw the president talking to them, and it was so cordial. And I saw the traders giving interviews about the meeting, and they loved it. They were very happy with the president.
Then the problem is not the president or the traders, because the imagery is beautiful. The problem, as we have said many times, is his bureaucracy.
That is my point.
If his bureaucracy is presenting this meeting, that was the president making himself available to the people as the high and lofty leader, showing you that I hear you and I'm actually going to do something about it.
That is precisely my point.
His bureaucracy is the problem.
That is precisely my point. This could have been handled at a much lower level than the president. People, need to wait 6-7 months for their containers to be released. You don't need to have the president of the republic going up to open up containers. That thing could have been sorted out much earlier. They are actually sabotaging the president and embarrassing him.
I say let's look at the Daily Nation before we make a determination.
Okay, you're benching it.
Wow. I'm not mad at the headline. I think it's all right.
Okay, cool. Brooke Kenya applies for World Bank loan.
Gosh, what negativity.
Brooke Skay applies for M-Shwari loan.
Does the nation have any vested interest in Kenya and seeing Kenya thrive?
No, guys, see this. I think there's a campaign headed at Rotich, and I don't know who is building this.
It's budget, it's tax.
Last week,
what do you need?
Last week they said Treasury has hidden numbers from a parliamentary committee, and this was to do with the budget. The figure of 75 billion shillings. Now, on Tuesday morning, Nation tells us that Brooke Kenya applies for 75 billion shilling World Bank loan. And I ask,
1 plus 1.
Do we have a budget deficit? Yes. Have we had one before?
Yes.
Are there different measures of filling that gap? Yes. So, look, if Rotich would tell us he's going to charge some taxes or VAT so that he can fix the 74 billion.
No, I'm fine, thanks.
No, that's precisely,
okay.
Because he will get that reaction. Now, he is going to the World Bank, and he has many other methods to look for the 75 billion shillings. Point is, this is not new to us.
No.
Rotich has an array of methods and ways to be able to plug in a hole. Going to the World Bank is one of them. So I would request whoever is writing these headlines, kindly do some research.
Yeah, and I would agree with you too, Am. I think that part of what the Winning Headlines is trying to do is we want to ask these editors to ask questions.
Precisely.
Give us analysis. Give us our options. Forecast, predict. So
don't necessarily whip up emotion.
That one belongs to a dustbin.
Completely.
So now that the standard was benched, let's bring it back. Revealed talks that forced Uhuru to act. I like the subtitle, Cry of Traders. State House meeting shows pain of small traders, and therefore for me this is the winning headline.
Yes, I would agree.
Okay.
Fantastic.
The standard gives us our winning headline. And on to our next segment, the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country.
Yes.
Just like the headlines, we have a 3-part criteria that we use to break them down for you. We ask ourselves 3 questions. Is the cartoon humorous or is it dry? Is it satirical or is it pessimistic? And finally, is it effective or just plain
lazy?
Right. Star. Ozone.
Woo. Back to square one.
I know, right?
Yep.
1 step forward, 10 steps back.
Yeah, but before criticizing,
before you start saying your judgment,
let me describe
Let
me describe him. There's a picture of Uhuru took. Is it on Friday or Saturday? I don't know what he was photographing, and
with a camera
exactly like this. Now, Ozone has labeled the camera "Big 4 Agenda." And then there's a cloak on the lens of the camera written "corruption," right? And then it says, "I'm focused on the issues at hand."
Yeah.
And I say, so what?
So I think what he's trying to say is that the Big 4 agenda is what the president should be focusing on, but he's being blinded by corruption.
It's actually blocking his lens.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I like it. I think he still does this thing of overwriting, giving too much description to the cartoon. I think without the caption, we might have gotten it. I don't like it. Yeah.
Same here. Do you?
I'm not.
The silence says it all.
It does. Okay, standard. Let's see what Gado has for us. International again.
Yeah,
what do we have?
Gado is one audience, as you said. Caricature of President Maduro of Venezuela, embattled. He's driving at his piloting. He's actually driving. He's
Driving in
it's
the air.
different. He's driving in the air. Our guys drive on the roads.
Nice save, all right. Continue.
Yeah, he's driving Venezuela to the ground because his plane has been hit. Looks like this guy called Guaido airstrike. And he seems a little bit shocked. So he's wondering, do I land this plane or do I eject from it? Point is, I think, Gado, in my view, he's very pro-democracy and,
Is that a bad thing?
supporting, in my view, it is.
In my view as well.
Yeah, you cannot keep supporting NGOs and leftist democracy. Anyway,
Yeah.
what do you think?
I think it's a simple cartoon. There's not much
it's
satire.
funny. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I think it's a bit bland considering what we know Gado is capable of doing.
You
I think
guys,
this is
the
quite-
measure that you judge Gado by is quite
If you
harsh.
are an A-star student and you produce C+ work, we're going to be harsh on you.
I like Gado.
Yes.
But I think there's a bigger picture here.
What?
Right? Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world.
Yes.
Right? Largest. What is happening here is not it's not a fight for democracy. The West does not really care, right, about
Fight
democracy.
for resources.
They want first mover advantage on oil in Venezuela.
So what then are you saying about this cartoon? Are you trying to tell me,
Yeah.
both
Are
of
you
you, that Gado is an apologist to the West?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
I can't fight you both. Today
Toss.
I'm not in a mood. You can toss it.
But I still like him.
Oh, yeah,
You
of
can
course.
toss it. You can toss
Definitely.
it. I will fight for you, Gado, another day.
Finally, we have Ndula,
Ndula.
the nation.
These I love.
Whenever you start like that, please describe the cartoon.
Caricature of Mr. Chameleon Barberman.
Ooh.
It's a caricature. There's no one who's called like that.
Okay.
And then the chameleon has a madoado around it, and the madoado is Jubilee. It has Jogo. And it is these things when you go to like a jeweler.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
It's called a jeweler's loop.
yes, that one.
Yes.
And he's holding a piece of gold, and he's checking it out.
for its
He's wearing a
authenticity.
whistle.
Yes, and he's wearing a whistle. I think context for whistleblower. But as he's
Also,
doing
I
that,
think he was launching football games
Yeah.
around the
Continent.
and also whistleblowing Dubai's gold, right?
True.
And next to him is the boss man, and Uhuru Kenyatta, with a CV, Baba CV for AU Special Envoy position, which is his job description. Behind him, let me say first, behind him is William RUTO, who is
What is he always doing?
He's
Crying.
crying. But remember, as you see here, he's wearing
A yellow tie.
signifying he's left Jubilee and now he's in his own entity. Now, Babaman is asking, the chameleon is asking, when do I start?
But when do I start? Are you saying the length of his CV? This
Yeah.
CV goes
Yes.
on and on and on.
Maybe Dula is telling us that it's in Raila's nature to do what he's doing now.
He likes to have his hands in lots of jars.
Yeah, he likes to
He can't
whistle.
resist.
I agree with this cartoon, and I understand it from here where you have the president coming forward. I don't understand what Whipping William is doing there at the back.
No, but
Because he has nothing to do.
No. William said they gave him the job. That's what he said on Sunday.
Oh,
That's
for
what William
AU
for
special
AU. Yes,
envoy.
that's what.
You can't have two dockets.
No, William said tulipatia huyo jamaa kazi. Tulimpatia huyo kazi.
I like this cartoon. I think it's a winning cartoon.
However, what
Lovely.
would have made it better for me is if they added a few more elements of jobs that Raila has taken over that no one asked him to do. I feel like there's more they could have thrown in.
I think
Well, it's implied in the
It is.
language
It's
of the
written
job
implied.
description.
yes, and he's also telling us it's in Babaman's nature to whistleblow, number one, and or maybe a broker.
All right.
Maybe
Let's stop you before you dig a
broker.
hole for yourself.
No more. Stop it there. I think the
it's
nation
a
gives
winning
us a winning
cartoon.
cartoon. Do you agree,
Yeah.
Tim?
Oh, I love it.
Okay,
Agreed.
cool. And what is our final thought today?
And now our final thought. Where's my book?
Oh yes, your books, of course.
Fantastic. And
I'm
now-
also a librarian.
Oh, fantastic.
Fine, Joe.
So you're a farmer, a bishop,
Yes.
librarian.
Yeah.
What next?
I'm
You
basic.
never
I'm
know.
Raila. I mean, I take on jobs no one asked me to have.
But you read this book, eh?
But I read the book.
So you can be a prophet.
Also.
Like the one from yesterday. All right.
Okay. Give us a summary.
All right. It is inspired by a book entitled Super Forecasting, The Art and Science of Prediction. All right. And my biggest takeaway from this book is, did you guys know
Did I know?
Yes.
Okay.
That a butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil can cause a tornado in Texas.
Explain.
All right? Let me explain. You see, there are these things called variables, and you put this in a machine, right? So the machine it reads 0.56127, right? If you round that off to 0.56, just that, it could have huge ramifications in another part of the world. Don't you find that interesting?
Yes, no, it is. Curious.
I find it curious, and I'm okay. I'm still waiting to understand exactly how, but I will get there. I know I will get there.
No. It's small variables can cause
large scale
results, and it's not in all cases. The factors have to be right, but the fact is, a very small variable like this can make something else
a catastrophic change in a very different
part of the world
location that has absolutely nothing to do with the
unrelated. Yeah,
absolutely.
I get it.
Yeah. Hey.
So that's my turn.
Yes.
Right.
Today we're kicking an invisible ball.
Yes. So this week, the books that we're looking at have to do with forecasting, prediction, a little bit of economics. Again, this is some of our favorites. I think they're now maybe different kind of modern classics.
Yeah.
If you can call them that.
If you can call them that. So yes, the art and science of prediction. Because one of the things that the authors say is that we are very bad at making predictions. We think that we know how to do it, but in fact, we're terrible at it because we don't know how to adjust. We don't know what to use in order to make those determinations.
Okay.
So the book is based on a 20-year study from 1984 to 2004 by one of the main authors, Philip Tetlock, which is considered the most comprehensive assessment of expert judgment in the scientific literature field.
Yes.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yes.
So from that study, there was this competition that was held. So there's this part of the National Security Agency, NSA. They had this competition and they created this little group called the Intelligence Advanced Research Projects Activity, IARPA.
Yes.
And so they held this competition to identify cutting-edge methods to forecast geopolitical events.
Yes.
So it was a competition over 4 years, 500 questions, 1 million forecasts.
Well, it would make sense because, I mean, the National Intelligence Agency, National Security Agency, NSA, does do a job of predictability and forecasting.
Exactly.
It is their job to figure out what threats are there to America and to try and figure out those threats before they actually
with a lot of privileged information.
Yes.
So this book is based on the Good Judgment Project, which was a project started by Tetlock and another woman named Barbara.
Yes.
And so they actually ended up winning the competition, despite the fact they were so accurate that they even outperformed intelligence analysis that was given with the CIA and the NSA. So they did not have privileged information, yet they outperformed those people.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So what you're trying to tell me is this. NSA determined that we need information and we need to make sure our information is accurate. The only people who have tested accuracy of information and predictability was this guy. He did a 20-year study, so he has to have some good knowledge.
Yes.
So let's make up a set of teams. We'll have a control team, if I could call it that, that has NSA experts. We have our intelligence, and we won't share with them our intelligence because these are the people who will be doing this prediction anyway.
Yes.
And then we make up other teams. So Tetlock made up a team of his own.
Yes.
Then other people made up teams, and then they tested all these teams to see who came up with the most predictable things over a 4-year period.
Yes.
And Tetlock won.
Yes, so they won. And it was just a bunch of lay people, someone like you and me. So the aim of the book is to explain why super forecasters are so good and how other people can learn to do what they do. So what is a super forecaster? Because you have a forecaster. Anyone can be a forecaster. You have weather forecasters. You have teachers who can forecast things. But a super forecaster is a person who is exceptionally skilled at assigning realistic probabilities to possible outcomes. So now we can explain that in an easier way.
Okay.
They are described as being people who are open-minded, and believing that forecasting is a skill that needs to be cultivated. So a direct quote from the book as he describes what a super forecaster is. They do their homework. They gather facts. They balance between clashing arguments and settle on an answer. Forecasting is not a talent that you either have or you don't have. Anyone can be a super forecaster if you cultivate that skill. I think that's the most important takeaway I would take from the book.
I love that. And he also says that it is not bad to be wrong. You can try as much. The only way to becoming a super forecaster is by trying.
Yes. Agreed.
Okay, so what I did take from this book is that at the beginning of the book, he calls himself what he says is an optimistic skeptic. So he understands. I like it. Although it feels very contradictory. How can you be optimistic and skeptical at the same time? But he says this because he understands something about predictability in general. And the first part he tries to explain is what he calls the skeptic. So this skeptic is where he understands that prediction and predictability in general has fixed scientific limits that we cannot cross. This is what, I mean, what is his name? Black Swan. I forget his name. Nassim Taleb would call a black swan. And it's exactly what you're saying. It's that butterfly in Brazil flapping its wings and causing a tornado in Texas. That's what is called chaos theory. And chaos theory is just simply what it means is small effects having large catastrophic consequences. Unknown consequences. And this is exactly what happened in the Arab Spring. A guy in Tunisia, in some small town, was having his fruit cut. His father had died. He takes a loan every morning to fill his cart with fruits. Then he takes his fruits to the market. And he then sells his wares, pays back his loan, and keeps the money.
Cut is mkokoteni.
Yes. Let's not use fancy words. So this guy with his mkokoteni on this regular day goes to the market, and then he's harassed by policemen.
By Kanjo.
The Kanjo. Kanjo come for him and they want a bribe. So they pat him down. He has no money. He hasn't sold anything. In their anger, they take his mkokoteni and his produce. So he gets angry. He goes to Kanjo headquarters to complain. At City Hall to complain. But these Tunisian Kanjo guys don't want to listen to him. They don't believe what he says. He leaves, he comes back with oil, sets himself alight, and then he sets off a series of springs that lead to the demise of leaders who had been there for years. In not just Tunisia, in Libya, in Egypt, in Bahrain.
So we are saying that this man started what we know now as the Arab Spring.
One guy pushing his mkokoteni in a small town in Tunisia sparked the Arab Spring.
And what they say interestingly in the book is that there were many such cases of people having the exact same situation all over the country. Many other guys were being harassed, having their things taken away from them. But this one guy, his reaction is what sparked
and that's the thing with the butterfly. It's not all butterflies that cause tornadoes. It's a particular butterfly on a particular day with a particular set of circumstances that does that. Now, if you acknowledge that, then what you will do is that even if you're a super forecaster, you'll have doubt. And doubt is important. That ability to criticize yourself. But he's still an optimist. Because life is still generally very predictable. We will predict that there will be traffic in the morning. So if I live in Rongai, I'll be up at 4. If I live right here by the corner, I'll be up later, and I know I'll be able to beat the traffic jam. I can predict my birth rate, my death rate. All of those things are predictable.
So can we predict who will be president in 2022?
Yes, we can. For this reason, you can forecast a predictable thing. It depends on what you're forecasting. So we're forecasting the election. It has to be it's not that far into the future. So 3 months, 6 months, a year and a half, that's okay.
It's what they recommend.
It's what they recommend. That's where accuracy is good. So I can predict 2022. I can predict 2029.
So we can say who it is.
So we can make a prediction.
We can look at the facts. We can look at history.
And finally, under a certain set of circumstances. So you have to have a fixed limit in which you do it. But you know the thing that makes you good? If you predict, you examine, you measure, you analyze, and then you repeat again. Then you incrementally make yourself more accurate in your predictions.
Yes, because in the book they mention the quote that is famously attributed to Milton Friedman. No, sorry, it's John Maynard Keynes.
Yes.
When the facts change, I change my mind.
And that's the point of this book. This is Winning Headlines on a day when we had a winning cartoon from the Daily Nation and a winning headline from The Standard. we have all been too quick to make up our minds and too slow to change them. And if we don't examine how we made these mistakes, then we will keep making them. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.